Iron Chain is an archetype used by the facilities chief in his one duel versus Yusei. It's been such an afterthought of an archetype that Konami not only hasn't given it a single card of support after its original release in 2008, they haven't even reprinted a single one of the 7 cards. So let's give our boy Takasau, aka Armstrong, something to pluck his nose hairs about. Iron Chain is considered to be a mill deck, seeing as how that's Armstrong's MO versus Yusei, and 3 of the cards mill: Snake, Dragon, and Poison Chain. But the deck does have a second component to it of Burn, seen in Blaster, Repairman, and Paralyzing Chain. The one remaining card of the archetype is the tuner, Coil. Konami tends to not favor alternative win strategies, so it's no surprise that a deck that's halfway a burn deck and halfway a mill deck doesn't get any modern support to push it into one or both of those directions. Now, I'm personally not averse to alternative win strategies, but even I will concede that of the many that do exist, Burn and Mill are the most annoying to play against because so much of it involves stalling and solitaire. Moreover, I've already designed a mill deck in Bakura's Undead Lock strategy, and finally, the cards are so aged that it's a prime candidate for a full reset. For all those reasons, this Iron Chain support will not be a deck whose end goal is milling. Instead, milling will serve as an engine to control the board. Kicking off the lineup is the first of the 4 main deck monsters, this one, Iron Chain Hunter. If a card is sent from your opponent's deck to the grave, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Iron Chain monster from your deck or grave to your hand except Iron Chain Hunter. Or if a monster has been sent from your opponent's deck to the grave during this turn, you can special summon it instead. You can only use each effect of Iron Chain Hunter once per turn, and not on the same chain as other Iron Chain monster effects. Next is Iron Chain Mage, a level 4 tuner. If a card is sent from your opponent's deck to the grave, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Iron Chain spell from your deck to your hand. Or if a spell has been sent from your opponent's deck to the grave during this turn, you can activate it instead. You can only use each effect of Iron Chain Mage once per turn, and not on the same chain as other Iron Chain monster effects. Next is Iron Chain Trapper. If a card is sent from your opponent's deck to the grave, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Iron Chain Trap from your deck to your hand. And if a trap has been sent from your opponent's deck to the grave during this turn, you can also send 1 Iron Chain card from your deck to the grave. You can only use each effect of Iron Chain Trapper once per turn, and not on the same chain as other Iron Chain monster effects. So this is the core 3. Each of them can be special summoned off the mill, and get their full potential if their respective card types are milled. Technically, all 3 of these could be summoned on your opponent's turn, and moreover, on their first turn. But if you don't want to rely on your opponent sending a card from their deck to the grave, then that brings us to the final main deck monster, Iron Chain Vampire, a level 3 tuner. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can discard this card, add 1 Iron Chain monster from your deck to your hand except Iron Chain Vampire. Then your opponent sends 1 card of the same type, monster, spell, or trap, as the activated card from their deck to the grave. You can only use this effect of Iron Chain Vampire once per turn. So this will let you get into any one of the first 3 monsters while also realizing their full effect, be that the special summon off Hunter, spell activation off Mage, or foolish effect of Trapper. And with an easy trigger to meet, it also opens up a few different turn 0 combos. Turn 0 combos for a mill deck. Nah, just kidding, you know I'm not about to drop something busted. Moving into the extra deck, we have the retrain of the Synchro, Iron Chain Dragon Chain Blast at level 6 with generic materials. Gains 200 attack for each Iron Chain monster in your grave. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, send the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck to the grave. Those cards cannot activate their effects until the end of this battle phase. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target 1 card in your opponent's grave that was sent there from their deck this turn, negate its effects, and if you do, banish it, then destroy 1 card on the field. First effect is a buff from the original in that you don't have to banish your monsters from the grave to get that attack boost. Second effect is also a buff with that stun component. And then a third effect to further the control aspect and balance out the number of cards you will be sending from your opponent's deck to the grave, which can obviously come back to bite you, but for effects like this. Finally, we have Iron Chain Warden. This is a level 7 synchro comprised of any tuner and 1 or more non-tuner Iron Chain monsters. If this card is synchro summon, you can send the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck to the grave, then draw 1 card for every different card type, monster, spell, or trap sent this way. Quick effect, you can target 1 card in your opponent's grave that was sent there from their deck this turn, negate its effects, and if you do, banish it. Then negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls that are the same card type, monster, spell, or trap, as the banished card. You can only use each effect of the Warden once per turn. His first effect is kind of like how the 5D's police steals cards from prisoners, and the second effect is very much Warden-like in shutting down a particular card type based on anything that has been milled that turn. We'll kick off the spells and traps with the field Iron Chain Facility. Neither player can move a card or cards from their grave during the turn that card was sent to the grave. Once per turn, you can declare one card type, monster, spell, or trap. Your opponent sends one card of that type from their deck to the grave. If a card has sent from your opponent's deck to the grave, you can activate this card from your grave. Then, you can return one card from the banishment to the grave. You can only use this effect of Iron Chain Facility once per turn. Has a bit of a Necro Valley kick to that first effect, though, specifically for cards sent from the deck to the grave, kind of like they're imprisoned for the turn. Also, specifically only locks players from their own grave, so you can still move cards from your opponent's grave and vice versa, almost like a jailbreak, and that's key for a number of your own effects. That second effect can get your combos going depending on whichever monster you want to pair it with of the first three that we showed. And the third effect gives you a consistent way to semi-lock your opponent's grave with all this milling going on, with that very last bit coming in handy with a couple of cards you're about to see. Next, we have Iron Chain Gang. Normal spell, declare one card type, monster, spell, or trap. Add one Iron Chain card from your deck to your hand, except Iron Chain Gang. Then your opponent sends one card of the declared type from their deck to the grave. If a card or cards is sent from your opponent's deck to the grave, you can set this card from your grave but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use one Iron Chain Gang effect per turn and only once that turn. A great starter for the deck as it pairs with any of Hunter, Mage, and Trapper to get their full effect going, and also has a neat little recursive effect to boot, and this is one of those cards that can benefit from Facility's last effect, so you can recycle it more. Next, we got Iron Chain Fortify, continuous spell. When this card is activated, special summon one Iron Chain monster from your deck, but negate its effects unless a card has been sent from either deck to the grave during this turn. If a card or cards is sent from your opponent's deck to the grave, you can activate this effect. This turn, Iron Chain cards you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can only use each effect of Iron Chain Fortified once per turn. This deck doesn't spam much, so this is a good way to do just that by getting more bodies on board, and this is the extra push needed to make turn 0 combos go if you can resolve Mage's full effect on your opponent's turn to then activate this card and get that second monster on board to combo with the trap you'll see. That second effect, as the name suggests, fortifies your field against destruction effects so that when you do throw things down during your opponent's turn, you can keep them safe until your turn. On to the traps, we have Iron Chain Tuning. Normal trap, if a card has been sent from your opponent's hand or deck to the grave during this turn, you can activate this card from your hand. Banish 2 monsters, one tuner and one non-tuner, that you control and or in either graveyards that were sent there from the hand or deck this turn. Special summon one Iron Chain Synchro monster from your extra deck whose level equals the total levels of those two monsters. This is treated as a Synchro summon. You can only activate one Iron Chain Tuning per turn. Has the ability to speed play by activating from your hand, giving you the final piece of the puzzle to pull off, not the full combo, but still decent moves on turn 0. And note that this can work off any monsters in the grave that were sent there from the hand or deck, so to be that hand traps, combo pieces, or whatever else, while getting 2 banishes from the grave out of it as well. And finally, we have Iron Chain Break. Counter trap, when your opponent activates a card or effect while you control an Iron Chain monster, negate the activation, then send 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck to the grave. While you control an Iron Chain Synchro monster, you can banish this card from your grave, send cards from the top of your opponent's deck to the grave equal to the chain link number of this effect. Also, negate any effect activated in the grave before this effect in this chain. You can only use each effect of Iron Chain Break once per turn. First effect gets you a nice little spot negate plus mill. Second effect is another way to stop your opponent from benefiting off the mill with potential to negate multiple effects if they mill off multiple graveyard effects on the same chain, and also gives you an at-will mill to play off your synchros and other effects. This is the other card that'll benefit from being put back in the grave via Facility. This deck definitely has a number of advantages going second, but I'll show the main combo when going first. It starts off with Iron Chain Gang. You activate that and declare monster. So then you add Iron Chain Hunter from deck to hand, and then your opponent sends a monster from their deck to the grave. Since the card was sent from your opponent's deck to the grave, you can special summon Iron Chain Hunter from your hand, and then use its effect on summon to special summon an Iron Chain monster from your deck. Since a monster was sent from their deck to the grave during this turn, we'll get Iron Chain Mage, who on summon will allow us to add an Iron Chain spell from deck to hand. We will get Fortified. Activate Fortified. On an activation, we can special summon an Iron Chain monster from deck, but negate its effects unless a card has been sent from our opponent's deck to the grave, which it has in this case. We'll get Trapper and use its effect, since it's not negated, to grab Iron Chain Break, or Omni Negator. And then we will go into our level 7 using Hunter and Mage to bring out Iron Chain Warden, activate its effect on summon to send the top 2 cards of our opponent's deck to the grave, which means we will either get 1 or 2 draws depending on how many monster, spell, or trap that they send. So let's say we get 2 draws, pretty good. Set our Iron Chain Break, and that's it. That's where the turn ends. You end off with your turn having an Omni Negate through Iron Chain Break. When you activate its effect to send cards from the opponent's deck to the grave, that'll then trigger Iron Chain Fortified, which will grant all your Iron Chain cards destruction prevention for the turn. And then you have Iron Chain Warden's effect as well to banish a card from your opponent's grave that was set there that turn to negate the effects of all the other cards that share the same type that your opponent currently controls. So there is all that control aspect that I was talking about, and that is a quick demonstration of this Iron Chain custom support. So that does it for the Iron Chain custom support. Hope you enjoyed. Another popular choice among you all, so hopefully I was able to deliver. And make sure you like this video and are subscribed to this channel because the next one is going to be the bomb.